Hello, everyone. It's your girl RenaeThaDiva, and I am live for the first show under the Legacy Entertainment Studios network. And this show is called Let's Talk About It. So let's go ahead and get into it, okay? Before I go any further, let's go ahead and get everything in the way, as I call it, never out of the way. So, our show is brought to you again by Legacy Entertainment Studios. We will have sponsorship opportunities, and we have some proud sponsors that are coming aboard. So make sure you are liking and following and sharing them when I share them with you as well. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor, you can email me at legacyentstudios@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to get you out a sponsorship package. Okay, so tonight's show is going to be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We have a young lady by the name of Nikki Hardy that will be joining me here momentarily. But before we go any further, let's go ahead and get into some entertainment and some sports, okay? So, again, this is a live podcast. Your comments are definitely appreciated. Please like, share, and follow Renee the Diva and Legacy Entertainment Studios. Let's get to it. So, of course, you have seen by now, unless you are living under a rock, that our former president had an assassination attempt on his life. We do not condone violence. I don't care what political party you are with. That is unacceptable. It's not fair. And I definitely encourage you to go out and vote. I am not telling you who to vote for. I am going to say that there are people that fought for your right to vote. So please do so. Okay. Next thing I'll go over is sports. The Indiana Fever are just banging. That is our WNBA team. We love them. We love them. We love them. So make sure you are, again, following our sports teams. I can't wait for the Colts because I'm a big Colts fan. But football season as a whole, we have had some changes going on a lot of the football teams. If you're following it, make sure you are to see where your favorite players are going to be for this next season. It's coming. Here in Indiana, we will have our Circle City Classic coming up here in September. If you're not aware of that, that is where they have games for college football. Historically, HBCUs rather. So make sure you're liking, following, and sharing for that information as well. So let's get to it, okay? So I will go ahead and bring on Miss Nikki Hardy. She is out of the Carolinas area. She has a foundation and she just has an amazing testimony. So I'm going to bring her on now, okay? Just a second. Well, hello, Miss Kim. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you too.
Well, I was just giving a brief introduction. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us who you are and why you are on Let's Talk About It?
Okay. My name is Kim Hardy. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. I have a 501c3 organization called Handz Foundation. We are an epilepsy advocacy organization that is here to advocate and support those that are living with epilepsy, like myself. I am also the author of a children's book called The Adventures of Wally and Kimmy, Wally to the Rescue. And we're just out here bringing awareness to epilepsy. I'm also an EFA first aid certified trainer. So I'm able to train anybody in epilepsy first aid. Our concentration right now is law enforcement.
Well, awesome, awesome. It's just a little bit hard to hear you. If you may adjust your volume just a little bit.
Let's see.
That's okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit there. Okay. So if you would please go ahead and tell me more about you as a person. Did you grow up in the Carolina area? Your familial status? You have children?
I'm born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina. I don't have any kids. I'm not married. I'm single. I am the oldest of my mom's kids. It's me and my sister. So that's about it. I got two nieces. Those are my send away babies.
That's it. That's it. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And could you tell me then, please, what is the mission of your foundation? Why did you start your foundation?
I started my foundation because here in Columbia, I was having breakout seizures. Um, the way my seizures always worked, I started having them when I was about 9 or 10. They stem from an automobile accident I was in when I was a little girl. And it's affected, I had a bad head injury, concussion, and all that. And I started having seizures, like I said, at 9 or 10. And the seizures will come like maybe one or two, and it would be an 8 year gap before I have another one. Well, when I hit about 32, I started having what is called breakout seizures, and that's multiple seizures that come randomly. I was having anywhere from maybe 5 or 6 a week in my sleep. So the first seizure started off as we think I was probably having them way before I was 9 or 10, but they were called absent seizures, or people know them as staring seizures, where it looks like I'm staring off into space because I had a bunch of trouble in school. Teachers would say, she's a good kid, she does her work, but she doesn't pay attention in class. But I was actually having seizures. So then when I started having my first grand mal seizure at about 9 or 10, that's when I was falling and shaking, what everybody commonly knows as seizures, but seizures have their different types. So I would have those sporadically. And then when I was, like I said, when I was 32, I started having them in my sleep.
Mm,
And the only one that was I still stay at home with my mom. So my mom's bedroom was upstairs and mine was downstairs. So the only one that was in the room with me was my dog Wally. So, I could tell. I can always, a person who has seizures can always tell when their body has had one. So it was just like I just felt yucky for about 6 months. So that's where the book stemmed from, was with him being with me. So when I went to my doctor's one day, my primary care doctor, and she was like, you need something. You need like a support group. You need see if you can find some assistance programs, because the test for epilepsy and the medications for epilepsy, and I was having a lot of headaches and stuff, they're expensive. So there was
right.
nothing here. There was no assistance program. There was nothing. I found some stuff in Atlanta. I didn't really see much in North Carolina. So, I was feeling really down. So there's a lot of anxiety and depression that goes on with epilepsy. So one thing that I continued to do throughout all this, whether I had to find a ride because I couldn't drive. So that was my one independent spot, is my driving. So I would make sure I went to church every Sunday, no matter how I felt. So I was sitting in church, and I swear God spoke it to me. He said, start your own organization. And that's what I did. So I started Hardy Handz Foundation. We're coming up on our 8th year anniversary. We have
Awesome.
been recognized by the city of Columbia. Our first year, we're given a proclamation by the mayor, and our 5th year anniversary, we got a proclamation from the governor of the state of South Carolina. So, we've been slowly but surely getting out there, letting people know that we're there. We're now grant affiliates with Epilepsy Foundation of America. So, we're gradually spreading our roots beyond South Carolina.
Well, awesome. That is awesome. And thank you for sharing like the different types of seizures, because I don't think a lot of people are even really aware that there are different types of epileptic seizures that you can have.
Yeah,
Um,
there are, and there are different parts of the brain that they come from. So yeah, this is a educational, educational thing that we have to learn
for
when we
sure.
have
For
epilepsy.
sure.
Yeah.
And do you feel that the education nationwide is where it needs to be, or people like yourself have your work cut out for you, where you actually have to get out
we
there and kind
have
of beat the
we have a
pavement and
long road to toe. What people don't realize is that pre-COVID, epilepsy was like number 5 for the leading cause of death. After COVID, we dropped down to 6 or 7, but it's before breast cancer. So
mm,
more people die from seizures than that die from breast cancer, and yet it's the least funded. It's one of the least funded illnesses. We call it an invisible illness. At least that's what insurance companies call it, because that's why a lot of our stuff isn't covered, or it's only covered at a small portion. So I work for a doctor's office, and my insurance doesn't cover a lot of the stuff that I need. So my targeted, where my epilepsy is coming from, has not been determined yet. And I've been dealing with this since I was 9 or 10. Because at first they said that my seizures came from me playing video games, the graphics. I'm light sensitive. So yeah, so the graphics.
So it can trigger
I was
you.
playing Sonic when I had my first grandma, I was playing Sonic, and yeah. So they were thinking the graphics from Sonic was causing me to trigger and have a seizure.
Wow. And it's something that, in our youth, a lot of us played video games, and some of us probably even still now. So, that is just really just flabbergasting that something that simple can cause or trigger you to have a seizure. And just the cautionary tale with parents.
Yeah, exactly. You know those the new video games where they put the thing on their eyes and stuff like that. I tell people all the time, I said, be very careful with that. Don't overstimulate your brain with that, because it is really close to your eyes. So it can trigger anything. We're all one head injury away from having a seizure. And you never know, or being even epileptic. So, I just try to caution people on little things that we can do in our day-to-day to be preventative of having seizures or something. Yes.
So can you explain maybe a little bit more too about, is it hereditary? Is it prone to come more from the mother or the father side, or can you get it from both sides? Or is it more so geared towards our African American community? Is it geared towards just all nationalities?
Okay. So there's no concrete evidence that is any genetics or anything like that. The African American community, there's very little research done on it. The Epilepsy Foundation is trying to do more now. We have a new sitting president, and she's awesome. She's an African American woman. Woo-hoo. So
girl power.
Yes. So there's more being done now in the African American community. But I will say, in my family, it is common. Been triggered by head injuries. So for me, I say yes. But from the world itself, they have not, the scientists have not determined that yet. Yes.
Okay. Well, and then I have another question for you, if you don't mind.
Okay, shoot.
Then can you tell me, with epilepsy, is it something that is incurable at this point that we know of? Or?
There's no cure.
Okay.
There's no cure. It's an adjustment. You have to adjust. Sometimes there's changing diets, because foods can be triggers, smells can be triggers, lights can be triggers, stress. So it's just a matter of monitoring yourself, monitoring your diet, monitoring things that you do. Environmental can be triggered. The heat, cold, all can be triggers. It's similar like lupus. Lupus has weather triggers that can cause a lupus flare up. It's the same thing with epilepsy. Because we're dealing with the brain is our main organ. It affects the entire body. So those triggers, those different stimulants, it's just, like I said, it's just about monitoring yourself, writing stuff down, paying attention. You have to start. And I was guilty of it too. I did not know. There was a lot of things, like I was a ketchup fanatic. I put ketchup on everything, literally everything. But I had to pull back.
Right.
Because acidic foods are triggers.
Wow.
So yeah, so doing that, and then a lot of the medicines, what they did not know then was, for African American, especially women, can cause all kinds of other problems in their body. It can cause infertility. It can leave you with I've got a whole bunch of stuff wrong with me just from being on the wrong medications, but it's because they did not know. So I do a lot of holistic treatments now.
Okay.
So I do the CBD oils that they help me. I'm not on any prescribed medications because my body rejects them over time. That's anything from Tylenol, anything. My body will start rejecting medicine over time. So
Okay.
again, knowing this and knowing yourself, that's how I do it. So massages, CBD oil, teas, stuff like that. Those have been helpful for me. But
So
I
I know they have
encourage
something
everybody
like,
to still follow with their doctor and take their medicines.
right, for sure. We're not
For sure.
advocating and saying don't take your medicines if your doctor has prescribed them. We're just saying that for you, holistic has worked better, which is awesome. That's amazing. That's a blessing all in itself.
Yes.
Because I understand, that our bodies are just unique things. They can reject medications, and
Yeah, and I'm hard headed. I don't like taking medicine. I am the worst. They say take it 3 times a day, and you may get 2.
well,
I'm the worst.
Well, then I'm glad you have found other methods for sure, So, okay, let me ask you this then.
Mhm.
Do you suggest maybe parents have tests done on their children, or do people have tests done early on in life, like just like in their normal routine checkups to test for epilepsy, or are there specific tests that doctors will give?
I'm not sure if there are, because one, it's hard enough to get even diagnosed with epilepsy because there's so many different forms and facets now, and some of them they say it can be psychological. Some people say it could be like kids. With kids, they could get start having seizures because of a fever they get. They had a real high fever. They may have 1 or 2 and never have them again. So it's a little bit difficult to determine that, because seizures are like it's like a bruise to the brain, kind of almost like. So you have that damaged spot in your brain, which is causing the epilepsy. And all it is your brain is moving so fast. It's moving at a fast pace, and it does not know how to slow itself down. So we have to be creative and learn what's good for us to center ourselves. So for me, I like Legos, and I do adult coloring books and stuff like that. And that calms me down.
Brings you down.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I know what to get you for Christmas. Stuffing stuffer.
Yes, I love it.
I actually got introduced to the adult coloring books when I worked in the call center years and years ago. But that was something they gave us again for stress relief, which is awesome. Now I have
Okay. We actually do. I work a lot with domestic violence organizations because a lot of the people that have come to me thus far have been triggered from. I'll say this: it's their footprints in the sand. They get out of the situation, but the footprints that's left from the domestic violence is now epilepsy. So a lot of there's a couple of domestic violence. We have a little group now, and Hush No More is who I'm. My sister organization, and with one of my besties, and we do our art therapy on Thursday nights at 7. And we'll do coloring, we may do an assignment or something. It's just a distressor. We'll talk, we'll chill, we'll have conversations and kiki, and probably stay on longer than we should. And then go about the rest of the weekend.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. And then, speaking of your domestic violence organization and kind of like getting into that, and you're finding that a lot of people are coming to you, as you said, that have been exposed to or now have epilepsy because of going through a domestic violence situation. I don't think people really realize the magnitude that domestic violence can cause additional health issues. And epilepsy is one of those, of course.
Yeah, there are lasting effects from those things outside of the mental stuff. You have physical stuff that are everlasting. Of course, those, the physical things that you can see, the bruises and stuff, but stuff like epilepsy is stuff you can't see. So these are things that people are having to live with and adjust with. And some people don't even realize they're having seizures. Some people don't know. So like, I'm single and I sleep by myself. So had my dog not been there to witness and follow me around, he was always my signal. He it'll be a year, July 27th, he passed away. But he was my anchor for that. He navigated. I couldn't even go to the bathroom without the dog checking to see what I was doing.
Right. So he was your care animal, which is
Right,
awesome.
he was absolutely, and that's our next project. One of our next projects is to work on helping people get support animals, or utilizing or informing and educating them on the importance of support animals. Because I
Awesome.
promise you, I probably wouldn't have gotten through that real well without Wally. You know, I had my mom, I had my sister, but Wally was just a constant, a constant. So yeah.
So those of you who are watching, if you are in the area and you work with or know of a shelter that has support animals, please get in contact with Kim. She's going to
Yes.
place her contact information in our comments here shortly, and we'll have it posted for you as well after the show is over.
Yes.
Okay. So I understand you are an author also. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. I have my book right here. There we go.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
The Adventures of Wally and Kimmy, Wally to the Rescue. And it's just about the story. Some of the, this is the first in the series. So there was the introduction of how Wally helped me through my seizures. So I had some kids come and said, Miss Kim, you know, there's stuff for babies and old people, but there's nothing for us. So brainstorming, sitting in church again, I came up with the book. God said, write the book. Now, here's the conversation me and Guy has. I was like, really? Seriously, write a book? Come on now. I was like, you was reaching with the organization, because I did not know what I was doing when I started the organization. He said, move, I move.
There you go.
So I did the same thing with the book, and it came out great. You know, I just gave a brief synopsis of how Wally helped Kimmy through her first seizure, and how he loved her and was able to get her mom to come in and stuff. So it was cute. It's just a little cute story. And then as we go on, I got the next 5 planned out. So we're working on those. So it'll be interesting to see the adventures and the troubles that the two of them get into.
Awesome.
While
Okay.
dealing with epilepsy.
There you go.
Yes.
And, you know, that itself is also a stress reliever for you, I'm sure, where you're actually just putting your thoughts and your actions to paper and sharing it for others, because that is truly a testimony. You never know who you may be helping through their situations with epilepsy, especially those that are new to it.
Right, exactly. And the plus is that I found a lot of teenagers actually like the book. I was targeting, you know, my niece's age, and the kids that I made, and I think it's because I have an amazing illustrator, Eric Cusack, who did the graphics for the book. Was amazing, on point, 100%. So I think that was what a lot of the kids like, and then the adults liked it too. So, you know, hey, Wally's coming, y'all.
There you go. Now, let me ask you this, Kim. In your state, is there a law that mandates that teachers have to have some form of training, I guess you could say, I'm sorry, if there are people in their classrooms that may have seizures?
Not of yet. We're working on that. It's called the Seizure Safe School Act. It's been passed in a few schools. And when Georgia passed it, I said, oh, now listen, if Georgia can pass this, we're gonna pass. So
there you go.
That's another goal. That's at the top of our list. I'm getting ready to start working with some senators and stuff like that to get that passed and get a good bill written, because the one that has come up wasn't that great. So we're gonna work on the wording and everything for it, and we're gonna get this passed. Oh yeah. Submission.
Well, there you go. I am here to support you any way that I can. I hope that this platform is definitely helping you get your word out and encourage you to keep going, for sure.
Listen,
how can people contact
you? Helps.
That's right. Every little bit helps. Now, let me ask you, Kim, how can people contact you if they want to either donate to your foundation, work with you on getting the bill passed in your state, work with you on maybe getting support animals for people with epilepsy that, you know, are part of your foundation, or maybe not even a part of your foundation yet?
Okay. So I have a website. It's Hardy Handz, HARDYHANDZ.com. And I also am on Facebook, all social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm commonly on Facebook though. That's my favorite. Okay. I'm old. I got some people helping me with the TikTok, but you know.
Yeah, I have TikTok going on over here on the other
I
side. You
ain't
can't
popping
see
yet,
it,
but
but
we're
yes.
gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it. YouTube, we're on all social media platforms. And my email address, hardyhands@gmail.com. So they can reach out to me. It's a number of ways, and I'll also drop the business number down too. So
Awesome. Please again put all of your information in the comments there, if you can do so. I hope that you are sharing this with your platform as well.
yes,
I appreciate you for coming on and being a guest on Let's Talk About It. And
and I appreciate you for inviting me.
you are so welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I won't hold you any longer. We'll go ahead and sign out. But again, make sure you stay live, so that your people can see this as well. So
Okay.
we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. So if you are just tuning in, I am RenaeThaDiva, and I have just had on the first show for Let's Talk About It, Miss Nikki Hardy. And she has a foundation called Hardy Handz. And we were discussing epilepsy and kind of what it is, how it affects people, and how she's kind of fighting to get things changed in her state and for others that are suffering from epilepsy. I'm going to turn TikTok around now. So, hi, TikTok again. You guys get kind of behind the scenes kind of actions going on. So I hope you have enjoyed our show. We will be live every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. And I will have some guests coming on next week as well. I have special guests lined up for each week. So make sure you stay tuned. I would love to have you as a sponsor. If you'd like to sponsor, we do have sponsorship packages for this show. You can email me at legacyentstudios@gmail.com. And I'll be more than happy to get a sponsorship package over for you. Make sure you're liking, following, and sharing RenaeThaDiva and Legacy Entertainment Studios on all social media platforms. This show will also be on replay on YouTube and on TikTok as soon as I upload them from the recording. So again, this is RenaeThaDiva. I am signing out. Until next time, be blessed. Thank you.